Hello. It's kind of wasting time here until people pop in that have questions about my mods or whatever. If it just turns into a hangout, then it turns into a hangout.
I'll head to my crew position.
Approaching ship. You've entered Freestar Collective space. Maintain your current course while we scan for contraband. Scan complete.
Hey, West. Hey, Jamie. It's going all right. A little exhausted. I've been working round the clock between day job and mods and helping my wife with her business and her chickens. But Kevin? Just haven't had any chance to take a break, so I figured I'd goof off tonight while I did this in case, anybody had questions, I could answer them, but I'm not really a playthrough person, but
here.
I have to have something to keep me busy.
Because once we get started, I'm going to be riding your tail till this is over. There's something, that tail I mentioned, after Planet, he called it the Solomon's Map. We got to get to that vault in Galbank. So long.
All right.
My little... This is a mod I don't talk about often. DarkStar Trainees Maelstrom. Oh, you're very welcome. So if anybody's gonna start a new character and you want to get to high level fast. Oh yeah, it was awesome, Blade. Sharing your save file saved the day. But this weapon, if you haven't heard of it, it's the DarkStar Trainees Maelstrom. It gives 7.5 times XP gains from all sources, as long as you have it equipped. This character is level 20. I just gained 2 levels coming to Aquila.
Hold it. By order of Marshal Daniel Blake, I need to inform you we've got some trouble at Galbank. Folks might be in danger, so you may want to steer clear.
So the next DarkStar mod that I'm going to work on is probably going to be two small little
those robbers are going to let us leisurely peruse the Galbank
two small little
vault.
content things with hopefully
move the situation along.
some quests and some
Kilo
voice
City.
acting and
Feels
stuff
I
like
spent
that.
half my life trying to get out
Sam,
of this place.
shut up. But then I'm going to be working on DarkStar Robotics after that, which will have a fully voiced companion.
What the hell am I supposed to do with that? You need to stand back.
Joke.
I don't mean to be... Now, please, stand...
Kilo City?
Well, I won't hold my... listen, for the others, though...
Thanks. But I figure it seems you got to...
All right. Some folks, they took everyone in. They're using the internet. They won't talk. In other words, they... Say what you have. Also, find out what...
Take it slow and steady.
Those guys...
So the TA kiosk it sells loot that's kind of level based, but it's also so it should change inventory based on where you install it, like where you place the terminus. And the weapons and armor and stuff that show up in there are boss loot rolls. So like there's a military boss chest collection of loot, a leveled list, and there's another one for science, another one for industrial. Basically, I added a few of those boss chest loot calls to the TA kiosk. So if you have any other mods that alter boss loot, then they could negatively affect what's available in your TA kiosk.
You're the negotiator, huh? You think you're just gonna walk up? We'll cooperate. So tell me, stranger. I don't know. I ain't buying it. Well... Yeah. Am I supposed to... Nothing you say is gonna... We want a guarantee. We'll drop the hostages. After that, we'll raid. But if anybody follows us... Oh, hell. So let's just... What do you mean? Damn it. I know. You have to believe me. It's up to the mark. Nah, it's too... You go tell the marshal.
Seems we've got a little excitement on our hands.
I heard all that fear. That puts us in... Yeah. You gave those... Problem is, if we try to move... You'd be willing to do... I can't deny... Now, if you're quick. There's also most of their attention. This key should on...
This is nothing we can't handle.
What was that?
I thought today was gonna be dull.
What the hell? Hey, who's there?
Someone's sneaking around.
That's how you get the job done.
I'm gonna see. Oh, it's over here.
Damn, they're gone. I'm not going down. Oh no. This is bad.
Please, tell me this is going to end soon.
Okay. Tell you what mod you need? What's your freaking playstyle? I don't know what mod you need. Yeah, I don't think you'll ever get an achievements enabled mod over on console. The problem is that they require scripting engines or DLL injection and stuff that isn't allowed on console.
Nice work. I heard the fight. That's... those people. As for the show, here. You got us out. As a matter of fact, if you're interested...
I'm sure things will turn out
I
just
heard the
fine.
fight. The hostages. Yes,
All right. Now that lives aren't on the line, let's get back in Galbank, see if we can...
What
get
level
those
am I
maps.
now? 21 already. Okay.
It's okay. I'm okay.
You DarkStar mod, blue and red. I mean, there's... yeah, DarkStar Astrodynamics happens to have a red logo. And DarkStar Manufacturing is the armor and weapon crafting. What do you mean, am I making ships? Like in general,
Family have a
this
few pretty
playthrough
closet boxes
for
secured in
mods?
here, so let's look around. Here's a copy of the key.
I will be eventually making ships for mods,
Okay,
but
now remember, Solomon was from an earlier generation.
I won't
So
talk
it's not
about
gonna
what
be on
that's
a
going to
slate.
be, because I hope some of it's going to be a
Bundles of
surprise.
paper is what we're after.
I want to talk to Emma Wilcox. Stop it. Well, the blue one, as you call it, DarkStar Manufacturing,
All right, let's see.
all about crafting apparel, armor, weapons. Everything's bound behind a bunch of research.
Jacob.
There's only a
course,
couple
that'll
things
be
in that
USA
mod that
this coming.
require New Game Plus. Just a couple of very expensive and powerful legendary enchantments that require NG+. Everything else is pre-NG. So the majority of the mod is pre-NG.
That we do. What? Alright, fine. Yeah, well, sorry. Alright.
Yeah, Jared, there's no way to change that. That is a problem that has been even in Fallout 4. Anytime a mod adds a custom crafting bench, interacting with the custom crafting bench kicks you into third person and leaves you there. Nothing I can do to change it. I have tried. I spent 2 days trying to make that not happen. And then I confirmed with other people that that's how it always acts.
Well. Sam Coe finally decides to darken our doorstep again.
So the
Why I'm here.
one of the recent
Oh?
updates, Darren, did move the
What's that?
stations around. You may need
You
to
come
rest
to your
on Venus
senses?
to get them all in their
Realize
permanent
where
home.
you ought to be for once?
I ain't asking again.
You ain't asked once. Let's
The
hear it.
Astrodynamics mod,
I
anything
want
you're
you to
getting
say
from
the words
creation,
about what's more
if it's not
important to you
updating,
than
you may
family.
need to uninstall and then reinstall
This
it.
was a mistake.
The only mistake I'm seeing here is you.
It's a known creation
Bringing
kit
your
bug.
Constellation
Should be
lackey here
fixed
instead of my
with the
granddaughter.
recent one, but personally,
Come to
I've
help
been
Sam lose
hearing from
ancestry?
people that it's not fixed yet. So
You're not getting those maps. Full stop.
I got just as much right to those maps as anyone else in this family.
That's exactly right, Sam. We all share Solomon's legacy. Only some of us are around to live up to it, and some of us aren't.
All right, that's enough. Come on, let's you and I talk. In private.
Welcome home, Sam. Make your visit short, okay? It's what you do.
Hey, good to see you. Give me a sec.
how do I update the mod? What do you mean? Or how would you update the mod? Ideally, you would just be able to click update in the creation menu. But that doesn't always work. Sam's quest, actually, his personal quest includes interacting with her mom. So I won't spoil it. You should do it at least once.
You're flying in the face of...
What is it this time? You... Fine, it'll get... They're in the other room. Here.
Move, Jacob. Ugh.
All right, let's see if we can find the empty nest. All right, let me think. There. Well, you ain't... First, it's in the middle of... But the empty nest... Well, just remember, it's about... Let's get to that cave.
Yep. Alright, and now with Starborn boost pack equipped, it's time to play The Floor is Lava. Yeah, no problem, West. I mean, relic gear also drops from point of interest. The update link doesn't always work. Sometimes it does. It's a Bethesda bug. If the update link fails to work, just open the mod page in the creation menu, click disable, delete, and then download without even leaving the screen. That will force an update, and then just double check your load order before you launch the game again. What do you mean if you do anything with it via creations? And second is, do you have the vulture, Tony? if you have the Vulture quest, that Bethesda creation, then you need to make sure Vulture loads before Astrodynamics. Ah, the plight of a unskilled, fresh character. Everything hurts. Back. Yep, there we go. I don't even know if I saved. No, I didn't. I'll switch characters for now. That is another Bethesda bug, Tony. Nothing I can do about that either. Doesn't happen for everybody. It's just some players report that. If you're playing on PC with creations, then make sure you're pointed to the correct version of DarkStar. Or the Astrodynamics. The original was split between an Xbox download and a PC download. I moved the PC download into the same hosting page as the Xbox download, so that people with crossplay could just download from one place. And then I had to delete the old PC one. Same file is there, won't break any saves, you just have to switch where you're downloading from. Is the community patch loaded first? Community patch needs to be the first thing in your load order. And please tell me you don't mean the unofficial patch. That should never be used. Yes, the CEO herself. Unofficial patch will cause you no end of problems. Probably the first week and a half that we had the Discord live, we had people popping in with strange, unexplainable issues that all had the unofficial patch installed, and every single one of them, as soon as we got them to uninstall the unofficial patch, their problems went away. Like, all of them. It wasn't even a mystery at that point. And I'm not the only mod author that's experiencing that with this community either. There's definitely others that I've been talking to that have the same problem. Anybody that pops in saying they have errors, their first question is, do you have the unofficial patch installed? And if so, uninstall it. Can you name a weapon? Yes. You just open the weapon workbench and hit the B. Or at least on keyboard it's B. There is a command port on console controller. It's been a long time. I don't remember. But yes, you can absolutely name weapons. And armor. And clothing. Yeah. So that's what I want to do. Yeah. Good. Get my equipment. Yes, Darren. The apparel ones and the armor ones are in there, along with the spacesuit workbench. And then the weapon ones and the weapon workbench are in the back room with the Mark I spacesuit. That is intentional. The original version of the mod, I had removed some of the clutter on the back wall to make room for my benches. And we think that was being screwed up by the game engine when it does texture meshing, and was causing the whole floor to vanish for some players. Well, Tony, try uninstalling the mod, load a different save, and then install the mod again. I don't know what else to tell you. You'd have to come to Discord, share screenshots and stuff like that for us to help you investigate further. What you're describing, I would need to see. I don't know. It all depends on whether or not the game allows you to install a medium scope on a Grendel. I don't have that memorized. Where did that go? Sorry, I keep just looking at chat to see if there's anything else. Oh, you're being like that, are you? It's not going to attach. I'll have to put that somewhere else. Okay. No, it was in the mod details. It was in the data slate, the changelog data slate, which should be in your inventory. It talks about everything moving. A lot of my community uses The better ship part flips and better ship part snaps. They work fine. The one that people are having issue right now with is the landing gear flip mod. That one seems to conflict with a lot of shipbuilding mods right now. I think that mod author might be working on a fix right now. I can't confirm directly, but I would assume they are. But yeah, those are the better flips and better snaps are common for people to combine with this mod. Okay, this way. Stop it. Oh my gosh. There we go. Well, I'm glad, Shane. That's awesome to hear. Yeah, I have 3 dogs. So you absolutely heard a dog bark. The one you heard was a Great Pyrenees. It's 170 pounds. Giant white ball of fluff. Hey, Assassin. Does anybody else feel compelled to close that little gap there? I always do. Like that. I can't go without it. Without closing it. It's just so annoying. Where is that landing gear? There we go. Your other weapons outpace. Well, from my understanding, I watched Crimson Flyboy play with the lightsaber mod, and he said that they are in desperate need of just a rebalancing. Like they were just underpowered anyways. So many engines. There we go, ship's done. No. Where is it? Right there. I'm just trying to keep things normally based in reality when it comes to ballistic weapon types. Well, yeah. Yeah, and I think that's the sentiment I heard from Crimson also, is that the deflection might make up for it if you had that skill right and learned to time it and all that. But me, like, I like Star Wars as a franchise. I don't think that I would want to turn this game into Star Wars, but I know that's just my personal preference. Stop. More landing base. Oh, you mean like this one? Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure somebody's added new landing bays. I personally haven't seen them or used them. You don't have to panic and bail out. You can just sit there and watch. There's no accidental joining. You can. When I'm in there in those Discord channels, just with a stream going, I'm just there to socialize. You want to see overpowered, Marshall? When I get out of this, I'll show you my character's armor. But she's been through the Unity more than 50 times, so she has the maximum Starborn suit available through DarkStar Astrodynamics. So, what was I doing? Not shields. I'm good on shields. I need structural. I need Stroud. And I need Deimos before I scroll away from it. Probably gonna need that too. And there we go. That look hot. Love it when a plan comes together. And yeah, I think I don't know that it'll be landing bays. I think what'll end up happening is that we'll get new bays that are just to eject and carry the rover. So you'll end up with a landing bay that you use to get on and off the ship. And then I think you'll end up with a rover bay that will just hold your rover. That's what I'm anticipating. It's speculation. I could be totally wrong. Yeah. But that's what makes sense to me. I also think eventually we'll get mechs and we'll have mech bays and all that stuff too. But, you know, that's definitely further down the line. So let's pull these out of the way so I can see what I'm doing. Look at that. Hotness. Which workbench? My DarkStar Manufacturing added 8 workbenches. Blade, that depends what quota you're talking about. Yeah, some of the weapons are definitely strong. Keeping in mind that they are scaling from all of the weapon unlocks start where the base game weapons stop giving you upgrades. So they are slight upgrades to what the base game gave at the beginning, and of course they keep upgrading as you get more levels and more new game pluses. So of course they're going to be stronger because you have to be higher level than the highest level unlock for a base game weapon in order to get them. And one thing people conveniently forget that complain about the power of the weapons, because I do get complaints, the Vanguard Obliterator can be acquired at like level 4 or 5. All you got to do is do the first Vanguard quest, which you can do with almost no skill and no gear. And then you can immediately go and start installing those on your ships, and those are some of the most powerful weapons in the base game. So No. Not what I wanted you to do. Stop it. Stop jumping. Ugh. Why are you doing that? Let's just... There we go. Now I can drag that in there. And I should be able to delete this guy. And this guy. Okay. Pain in the butt. But... And it's doing it again, so... And delete that one. And here's the right there. Delete that. But Dan, I would need to know what it's flooding with. Because some of there are mods that just add crafting stuff directly to the industrial bench. And in order for those to not show up in the DarkStar benches, you would have to have a patch for that other mod to force them to be in either the correct DarkStar bench or in the industrial bench. And yeah, the more custom clothing mods you add, the more you're going to flood your benches. Yeah, probably a shade of black or something like that. But there, what I'm also going to do is get prongs up, these up here, which are going to require me to get something else embedded in the wings. So if I do this, pull them out of the way. What I need is need this guy. Need him. And that's fine. They want to attach there anyways. And that'll help shore things up. And then I need the same thing here in the middle. So to get it in the middle, I'll attach it back here first. Pull it out. Put it right there. Undo. Why did you jump to where you did? Oh, because there's nothing there for you to attach to? Yeah. Nothing there for you to attach to. So let's do this. Let's copy that. Step back. Undo. So now that's there. These I'll probably end up deleting because I don't think I need them. Now if I put that back, should be able to attach him there. And yeah, then I need same thing up front. The hell? Okay. Pull that out of the way. Pull this out of the way. Copy this over here. Copy this over. No, I don't need that. I need this. Put him inside. Right there. Attach that. Put him back. Oh, come on. Right there. Okay, and now I gotta do that to the other side. I don't pull these and those off at the same time because I need to be able to snap back together. I didn't say to do that. Stop it. Get back over here. You, come on. I can go there. This can go there. This can go back. And now I can delete that. You know, because they were just occupying those nodes. Okay. And now to attach weapons and then paint it. Most of my stuff is either black or charcoal with a splash of red or some other color. So I have an issue, so I'm just going to do a clean install start video. Yeah, Tony, unfortunately, without a lot more detail, I couldn't even begin to tell you what might be your problem. I apologize. I never like hearing people having to reinstall or having save issues. So we'll go with Devastators, and we'll go with we got the Negotiator. We're going to need some more of those, and then the Disintegrator, which is my favorite weapon. Oh yeah. Yeah. So let's see, Disintegrator right there and right there. And this is the Devastator. I can put 6 of these. And then this is the Negotiator. I can add 4 more of these. Really? So I've got 2 different kinds of Negotiators. Which ones are the bees? Hopefully. Oh, I embedded some bees. No. Those are down in here. I don't know if I can get them out. Yeah, that's the bee. Let's see. If I pull those out, that's all gonna fall apart. I'll take this guy. Where did it go? What are you doing way over there? I hate when it wigs out like that. It's so annoying. Where are you going? Okay. That's a B, and that's a B. Now I can go back. Okay, so Disintegrator always first. Devastator, Negotiator. Alrighty. We'll do black first, just to have it. And then... One, two, three. Decorative what? Decorative weapons? Just like they look like a weapon but they don't do anything kind of thing? That could be fun. Oh, duh. I didn't do all 3 colors. Oh, that's a pretty interesting idea there, Blade. Should have done the second color while I was at it. Technically the primary color. Does that look identical? There we go. That one. Okay. Damn it. Hey, Frederick. Just tooling around with a ship. Because I can. Who knows, maybe it's giving some people some build ideas. I think it's that one. Yeah. Anybody have any other mod questions? This is supposed to be a mod support stream. I'm just doing this to pass the time. This is not a Trader Railstar 3 anymore, that's for sure. Actually, wait. I had a name I used to use for this, so let's use it. Oh, did... So there's a patch being tested right now for anybody that's not on the Discord yet. I made a patch last night. I filmed a tutorial. I'll be editing that tutorial later tonight and tomorrow. The community patch, never the unofficial patch. You see what I'm holding. Those of you who've bought the Vulture thing, the Vulture creation, will recognize what I'm holding. So yeah, it's pretty insane. I renamed it, but this is a Relic Mark II Arboron Nova Strike Sniper with maximum Evangard enchants, which these legendaries require New Game plus 20 and level 130 to fully unlock them. So this is probably the most maxed out rifle you can make in the game. And then, of course, I'm wearing the Dustwear from the Vulture Quest. Customized, of course. So this patch is in the hands of a few testers right now. And will hopefully be coming out Sunday if everything goes well. To the Creation Club. Completely free, of course. It's unnecessary, Darren, really. That weapon's already overpowered in the base game. But this is, I filmed a tutorial of how to create a patch like that while I was making the patch. That's the video I need to edit. And I've got a couple of people that are going to vet that video to make sure it teaches them what they need to know. And then hopefully when that video is out, if you see like an armor mod or weapon or clothing that you want to take advantage of DarkStar, hopefully you can just point people in the right direction and they'll just watch the video and learn. Hopefully we'll see a lot more patches being made. There you go. You know, just watch me build a ship live. Very similar to one I posted a video about back in February. It's slightly different every time I build it, but I like it. It's one of my favorite ship shapes. And it, in my opinion, uses just the right amount of merging to make things look like they flow together. Well, and you don't really, it's all overkill at that point. Well, we'll have to get somebody else to patch it. I don't use a lot of that stuff because I don't really have a lot of time to play the game for enjoyment's sake, so I'm not going to create a bunch of patches that require me to constantly re-download mods I don't use just to update a patch. I'm sure that is reasonable. So anybody, once the tutorial's out, anybody's welcome to create a patch. They should watch the tutorial first. Did everybody notice the stats of this ship? So there you go. 23,000 cargo, 14,000 of it is shielded. 7,200 shield, 67 reactor, 4 crew slots, and 2 passenger slots. And then, of course, the weapons are insane. And only 659 mass. Thank you, Darren. Interior's simple. It's just a one hab. It's a Viking cockpit, and then an all-in-one. Nothing too special. And of course, you could do the all-in-one empty, and you could put workbenches in here, and have 4 crew slots, 2 passenger slots, and all of your crafting all in one place in one simple ship. Pretty easy stuff. And if this live stream will be on my channel, so you can always jump to the timestamp and rebuild it if you wanted. I'm not running any like appearance mods or anything for interiors or exteriors. And this is only my mods. Like, I didn't use better ship part flips or snaps. That the better ship part flips and snaps would make this build a lot easier to accomplish without all the glitch merging that I just did. I'm on PC. I used to build the ship on Xbox all the time. Every universe that I went to. So the first thing I did was get enough credits. I go clear some points of interest and go vend everything for a few hours while I watch TV. And then once I had enough credits, I'd go build this ship, and then I'd complete that universe. But on PC, I have my build tolerance set to like -10, just to make it so I can just slide parts into place without worrying about collisions. And of course, the Archimedes system gives great visuals with the ring planet right here and everything. Oh, wrong button. Wrong button. Very agile ship. I am on extreme, by the way. That is the EM weapon, the burst EM weapon. Absolutely nasty. You see how fast it shut down his whole ship? Yeah, and well, and honestly, Darren, you've hit kind of the nail on the head with my motivation. Is I did the, I think when I decided I wanted to get a PC again, because I used to be a big time PC gamer and modder back in all the way up until 2015. I did a bunch of ESO mods that were super popular and stuff under the same name, Wicked Gaming. But then we moved and I didn't have broadband internet at home and all that, so I just gave up PC gaming and went console only. But I did the power grind on this very character when it was still super bugged, and you could get some universes where you would only get 3 temples, and then it would stop giving you temples and you couldn't find them no matter what you did. Even jumping to every planet and every system, it wouldn't reveal them. So you would have to go to New Game Plus with less powers and then keep grinding. And it took me until or my 33rd trip to get my last power to 10. And even after accomplishing that, I'm like, well, the powers aren't enough of a motivation for me to have done that. I did it because I'm somewhat of a completionist, but like I didn't feel rewarded for having accomplished it, and that's when I decided, I need to set aside some money, get my gaming, PC gaming rig back together so that I can create mods and fix this, because it was something I looked at. I was like, I don't think Bethesda's going to fix this. I think they're happy with where their game is. They want to encourage you to, hop through New Game Plus, sure, but there's really, other than doing a power completion and maybe trying to max your skills, which is, even that's unnecessary. If we look at my freaking skills, like, I'm only 275. I think it takes like level 380 something to completely max all of these out. I couldn't tell you a single skill in here where I'm like, man, I wish I had that max. Like, this character is already way overkill. But like, there was no new gear beyond like level 70. No new freaking, like, the starboard armor stopped at Ninja 10. The ship was almost worthless. You can make it work, but building a normal ship was still more powerful than the Starborn Guardian at its max level, and that stopped at NG6. So I was like, man, where's the encouragement and the reward for pushing higher levels? Where's the encouragement and the reward for pushing higher through New Game Plus? And they weren't there. So my first version of DarkStar Astrodynamics went live in, I think, February on Nexus, and it was Starborn only originally. So I was like, there's plenty of rewards in the pre-NG game to a point, sure, but there's plenty. But once you go into New Game Plus, there's almost nothing new. So that was the first motivation, and then I went back and added all of the pre-NG ship parts and everything to Astrodynamics, and that lived for a few months, and then I recreated it all in Creation Kit and almost doubled the number of weapons that were available. Did a whole lot more with like reactors and grav drives and shields and all of that, and really like beefed it up and expanded it quite a bit beyond its original form. But again, the original motivation was I felt like I was neglected by Bethesda and not rewarded for pushing high levels and pushing high NGs, so I figured I'll fill that gap. Add some rewards for doing all of that work, for making your character stronger. Because otherwise, why aren't we just, canceling our characters out at level 60 and rolling a new one every week or every other day? Without mods like this, there's no real reason to push higher. Oh, and for fair warning, the Arboron, when this patch comes out, the relic quality of it requires level 150. And that's because of the levels that it required already just to be advanced. Their level scaling on this I maintained. So unlike every other weapon in the base game, this one requires level 25 for calibrated and then 40 for refined, so it's a 15 level jump instead of a 10 level jump. All their other weapons, they do a 10 level jump between quality tiers. This one goes 15 and then 20. So I just kept that chain going, and then the next, superior requires 25, or is 25 levels over advanced. And then unrivaled is 30. And then relic is 35. So boom, boom, boom. And somebody was talking about armor earlier. This is the Mark 50 Starborn armor that Astrodynamics can reward you for going through New Game Plus 50 times. And you can buy it with any appearance on it. It doesn't have to be the Venator. I just happen to like Venator armor. And yeah, I did a lot of that too, Pete. I had, by the time this character originally moved off of Xbox, I was at my 54th New Game Plus. And a lot of that was like I had a collector playthrough where I started hitting the save bug because of the form ID bug. So I would go through New Game Plus again, and then I would be like, all right, in this one I'm going to do everything evil and join the Crimson Fleet and yada yada yada, and then I'd throw that away, and then the next one I would try different playthroughs. I played probably almost every major quest you could talk about in every possible way I could think of. Doesn't mean I hit every possible combination. I just played through every possible thing that even slightly intrigued me. And then in January, my money lined up and I got a gaming laptop. Nice, Darren. Very nice. I'm thinking of doing a second version of the Trainees Maelstrom mod. That requires the armor on. I don't know, that seems dirty because then that guarantees you have to give more money to Bethesda to get this weapon. But I want to pick another weapon and maybe do another trainee Maelstrom kind of thing, or recruits Maelstrom or something that takes you from level 100 to level 150 quickly, or maybe 100 to 200 or something like that. Just for people that want the quicker leveling experience. With all of my gear combined, and yes, I have 2 backgrounds on this character thanks to PC console commands. Yeah, you can see 1300 physical and what do you mean, Blade? You don't need to level that quickly. I mean, I didn't really even do any grinding on this character. Not to any great extent. I tried, like, the crafting grind everybody was bragging about when the game first launched. And I wasn't really a fan of it, especially on Xbox, because you can't automatically jump to craft 99 things. You have to slowly scroll your way over, and it sucks. So I did that for, like, maybe an hour or 2, and I was like, screw this. And then I did do Paras bugs, because I did enough quests where I knew that my next main quest thing was going to take me to New Game Plus. So I knew that, and I didn't want to go until I was level 100. So what I did was go to Paras, and I did the bug squashing there with the husbandry thing, and I did that from level 89 to 100, and then that's it. That's the only intentional grinding this character ever did. Most of her levels came from quests or points of interest clears, or the New Game Plus hops. If you speedrun New Game Plus, even in the 100s and 200s, you can get between 3 and 5 levels per NG Plus just by trying to go to the next NG Plus. Well, I mean, you can always take a look, Blade, at if you get X at it, you can take a look at how the Trainee Maelstrom does what it does, and then you can just recreate your own version of it in the creation kit. It's really not that complex. More of it was just figuring out how to cause some of the effects to work on a weapon. Yeah, I rarely use powers anymore. Mine is usually sense star stuff. If I go to a POI or something like that and I just want to know where the enemies are, sense star stuff is amazing for that. It's also good for ship captures. I use FaceTime very, very rarely. I don't use Void Form anymore. I don't use Gravity Wave. I don't use Personal Atmosphere anymore. I used to a lot, doing POI grinds and becoming encumbered and then using personal atmosphere to get to and from places, and gathering resources and all that. Used it all the time. But I don't anymore. I don't play much anymore. I keep hearing that, Marshall. It's just, I would have to have time to actually play. So right now, with my plans for modding, I'm probably going to be busy working on mods until this time next year. Hopefully by then I'll have enough done where I can just leave it at that and have the mods that I want out in the world. My internet connection is being weird. I am sorry for lag and stuff like that. Yeah, it's in the terminal. So, which is this temperate high O2? I'll land here. And another thing, the reason I get asked this question too, the reason the DarkStar Terminus only requires credits to build is because I wanted it to be a quick build thing when you enter New Game Plus. You just enter a universe, talk to Sarah, or visit Constellation, and you usually walk away from that encounter with between 20 and 25,000 credits. You can immediately go to a planet, drop a DarkStar Terminus, and start questing and doing whatever you want. All these bugs getting in the way. And even their corpses would get in the way, so killing them won't help. Let's see if I can get the sunk one in. Of course. Probably the worst planet to try and build anything on. You can't hear anything? I'm sorry. Jimbo, if you can hear me, that's a new ship I just built. Every time I try and move where I'm building, these guys walk into the path. Yeah, it's I just built that ship. So if I come up here to answer that one question, yeah, you can get your Avenger here. And if you didn't get the memo, this now sells 19 ships if you have a new landing pad, a new terminus. I couldn't force it to update the inventory on the existing one because of the way the inventory gets applied. But, yeah. This weapon is just totally unfair. So what else? Anybody else have any other questions, concerns about mods that I can maybe help with? And by the way, if you didn't notice, when you buy ships over there, if you turn on VIP mode, so if I disable it, right, go to buy a ship, so it wants 162,397 now, right? I'll go back over here, turn VIP mode back on. Come back over here. 1,591 credits. So yes, if you turn on VIP mode, you can definitely credit grind here. Buy a ship, customize it, turn VIP off, sell it. Boom, 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 boom. Over and over and over. You can become a ship manufacturer, which to me sounded very appropriate for a mod called DarkStar Astrodynamics, where you too can be a ship engineer. Because some of these ships you build can be quite expensive to try and sell. So let's see. Go to buy ships, sell. So that's, I think, the discounted price. Let me go and, I don't know if it does it. Let's see. Disable the VIP. Let's see what the price is. It may have to be another vendor to get the price to show. Yeah, it's not going to show full price. Look at the engines on that one. This is not the frontier you think it is. There's my dog barking again. Mission terminals don't show any missions. No, there's no settings, and there's not even any settings I can set in the mod. Some people have reported that they never get missions in these. This character isn't currently a member of any of the factions. Some people report never getting missions. Some people say that if you sleep at the base that they're located at for 48 hours, then the missions start showing up. There's no rhyme or reason. This is like legitimately a Crimson Fleet thing. It's not one created by my mod. I literally took the original Crimson Fleet activator and just placed a copy here. Not even a copy, I placed the original here. So this is physically the same one that spawns inside the key. And this is the same one that spawns inside Ryujin in your office. So that's the case with all of these. So I didn't assign quests, I didn't tweak any settings to make them work or anything, because there was nothing to tweak. So it really all depends. You might need to finagle with how you're interacting with them if you rest first and whatever. And then you should see missions show up. And then there's 2 of these mission boards, because one is for local, like the current system you're sitting in. So these are in Andromos, Fermi, Dinabola. So that one's the galaxy-wide. And then this one should be local only. So yeah, Serpentis 5B. That's why there's 2 of those. So we get local, and then this is the entire all known systems kind of thing. I do plan on doing a full, play through myself on a character, not necessarily on stream or anything, just to test all of this stuff. And again, there was nothing I could tweak that I could find. And there was somebody else that had a mod that lets you place these on your ship, and they have the same problem on that mod. It's just that the mission boards just decide sometimes not to populate. And I think it's because the mission board knows, this one knows that you're not standing in the key, and I think that's the bug. Like, this one knows that you're not in Aquila, this one knows that you're not in, or more specifically, this one expects you to be in New Atlantis, and you're not, so therefore it don't work. I think that's part of it. Yeah. And you also, yes, you have to be a member of the faction. Yeah, it would be simple to replicate. And I mean, that's a inconsequential mod in my book. So if you wanted to make another version of it that goes further in levels, or maybe picks up where that one leaves off, I'd be totally down with it. The one thing is, you've got to be careful of things like that adds chameleon to a weapon, and it adds the chameleon, and then the XP one. Those aren't normal legendary effects that would normally belong on a weapon. So if you were to, say, open up a piece of armor that had chameleon and try and copy the effect application over, things like that, it could get wonky. You've got to change some things around and really play with it. And the numbers that I use to apply the XP valid thing, it's like 50 times mod XP, and that resulted in 7.5 times XP, and I don't understand how the game made that decision, but setting it to 7.5 didn't actually give you the value that I wanted. So I had to play with it until I got the right value. This thing shoots forever. Oops. My bad. Not the gun's fault. Alright, West. There are more videos coming this week. I've got a video going live tomorrow and Friday and Saturday, and then I hope to have the tutorial video on how to create DarkStar manufacturing patches, hopefully on Sunday. That'll go live if things go well. And then Sadir's prepping a video, surprise video. I won't say what's in it, but I'm gonna get that from him sometime this week, and then that'll go live. That should be a fun one. And of course, you're in my Discord, Blade, so if you want, you can advertise your mod in there. I don't mind, and you can ask me for help if you run into anything you think I can help with. If I have time, I will absolutely help. This isn't a one-man show. Well, I mean, my mods are a one-man show, but I'm not trying to be the only mod author you install. You know, I want to share the love. Install what you want. Play how you want. This way, when I spawn at my base, I'll spawn here. Facing this way. Oh yeah, I know Gentry's Bear from Discord. He's Z Ogre on Nexus. Some of you might recognize his Nexus name. He's going to be working on at least one mod for I don't know which piece of gear, but I told him the tutorial was coming and he was happy about that and said he wanted to play with that. I know there's some things that he wants to create, like a patch or a tweak or a side mod for astrodynamics and stuff like that. He's got plans. And Sadir might patch something. I don't know if he will, but he's going to be testing the tutorial videos, so who knows what will come out of that. Hey, you know how sometimes, by the way, that I'm like, oh, here's a patch and you might want to rebuild your terminus? I have a pro tip for you. Build these guys. On the side, so clearly in this location I would have to build higher. But you don't need all of them, you just need one. And build a storage there, and then if I have to pick up the terminus and destroy it and place a new one, it'll snap. I can kind of show you that over here off to the side. If I place one, I won't be able to build a second terminus, but I can do this and say there, and then go back to where the terminus is. And you see how it snapped? Even that one snapped, and it snapped. And it'll keep snapping. See that? So if you build storage attached to the storage that's on your terminus, that's part of why I did it the way I did. So that you could build your 4, and then when you have to destroy your terminus and place it back again, it'll just snap right back in place. Real handy shit. And while you can build on top of your terminus, if you're going to do that often, you probably shouldn't. But you can build right up against your terminus. It's pretty easy to glitch. Let me go to another location and I'll show you. If I go to this one. Use a bat to give myself good crafting supplies. There we go. Because I'm going to do some fancy trickery here just as an example. Go to Yaw. I'm going to build a standard height terminus. Okay, so I build that. I can still go up and down, make it skyscraper height if I wanted. And then I'll go and do the storage. Now the storage has a maximum of like 64 foundation height, so you see how tall that is? So it'll work even though the terminus is tall. Come on. So I've got that. Now I can destroy the terminus, place a new one, and it'll snap too. There we are. It's intersecting with something, probably a bug on the ground. Oh, good grief. Get back over here. So I'll do that, get it back in place. So he's back, right? Now, if you haven't done this, this might be a little weird, or you might be like, oh. Go to structures. and I'll get an outpost airlock. People keep asking, "Oh, can you build on structures on top of the terminus?" And I'm like, "No, that can cause bugs if I do that by default in a mod, right?" So I don't want to do that in a mod because it could really bug out your outpost, bug out structures. All right, so I was doing this on console, so I know this works on console and definitely works on PC. Get it real close. You see how the stairs vanish and it's just a little catwalk out in front? That's what you want. And then if you turn, you can turn until it starts to turn red. See that? Get it white. 2-click build it up. And you see how it went white again at the top? Now there's a little gap. I don't want that little gap. I'm going to build it again. So this time I'm going to try and get really close. See how close I can get it. This one isn't going to work out. I'm going to do it again. And you just play with it until you get it to where it is basically touching the landing pad. Come on. Okay. Turn it in right there. So click build it up. Much closer. Look at that gap. Much better gap. And then you try and get it at the right height. And then there we go. So now if I'm up here working on my ship, I don't have to get on the ground to go into anything. I can just walk right on in to the hab. And now I'm safe. So for those of you who kept asking, and it's only a couple people, but if you kept asking, how do I do blah blah blah? Can I build on top of the, put a structure on top of the terminus for me? And yeah, no need to. You can just do this. Yeah, it looks much better than jamming a building right here, which is what people keep requesting. Oh, good grief. Fall over. And yeah, and a little bit of a gap here is just fine. There's batch commands you can run on PC that can actually make this even better. There's one, it's an outpost overlap tolerance. You can set a batch command for, and that'll actually let you position this catwalk on top of this. But I will warn you that this isn't always nav meshable by NPCs. So if you want the build this way and you want NPCs like Sarah or whoever to be able to come up and join you, then my recommendation is actually to put a ladder down to the ground as well. Yeah, the little sawhorse, it's so annoying sometimes. Also, if you haven't noticed, if you shoot this, you can break the terminus and have to repair it in outpost build mode. It's funny. But something else I usually do, if I'm building like this, usually I do not build the giant terminus, but if I needed to for whatever reason, I actually wouldn't put that module there. I would use this one. And if you see how it looks like a really fat arrow there, and it's got the little trapezoid pointing in one direction there near the top of my screen. That's actually the direction the stairs point. So put that there. Turn the next one into the angle I want. And then do something like this. Nope. I'm not trying to do that. Stop it. The other thing that can screw up nav meshes and outposts is don't widen these doorways if you want them to be able to navigate freely. Any room, like if you want them to not get into one of these, make this the biggest entrance you can. And it'll bomb out. I don't know why. It's frustrating. Sometimes I just want them to be able to walk in there and not have to worry about my companions getting stuck in a doorway and stuff. But what are you going to do? It's Bethesda. There we go. See, that looks cool from up here, and it gives me way more space than I would ever usually need. See what I mean about the direction the stairs face? And I've got way too much room. I never fill this much room. Yes, you can. Alright, so, yeah. If I click it again, it's a different kind of window. Plain wall. Window with that little notch that I don't like. More centralized window. That window again. You can cycle the windows, yeah. And even down here. You didn't know that? I usually widen the doors anyways. Because, I don't usually run around with companions. And I think the wider doors look better. I also used to do, since we're just fooling around, when I always built bases everywhere, so what I want in this situation, right, is I want this guy centered right about there. But to get him lined up on that kind of sucks. So I drop down here where there's a grid on the floor. And I'll get him positioned here. So you see how he wants to build sideways? Just scroll down and up. Down, up, down, up. Using the lines on the floor to line him up in the angle that I want. That looks good. And now he's at the right position. The right direction. And I just do that. Now I do the next step that I always did was this. So what I want is these guys attached to here. So to get them positioned so that they're in the correct shape or in the orientation, I'm going to do this. And use the lines on the floor again until he is as perfect as I can get him. And then I should be able to do that and that just to create some extras in the same orientation. Because what I want to do is get him right there. Actually, I don't need these anymore. Let's build my way across. And I can totally encompass this like that. What I don't remember is if that lines up perfectly. And it does. Okay, so I'm going to delete that and that and that. Seem right? No, I'm too far over. I had a gap. So that's going to be a gap. That's going to be the thing. Which means that's going to be the corner. Okay. Just barely. Look at that. Oh. So when that happens, what I do is I just line this back up. And fill the gap with this kind of stuff. Really? Okay, fine. I won't do it this way. Fine. So this is what I usually build for like a control center for DarkStar. Kind of meh. I'm usually a lot more precise with it. Usually this is tucked in there. And then you can add chairs and whatever. I wish these counted as crew stations. That would be badass. Maybe in DarkStar Industries, I'll do something like that. Did y'all ever build stuff like this? Just to have fun. Alright, well, I think if nobody's got any serious mod questions, I might pop off then and get to do some video editing tonight rather than waiting till tomorrow. The tutorial's not going to edit itself, and it's easily more than 3 hours of video. Oh wow, I didn't even notice that POI was so close. That's nuts. So I got a lot of work to do. Savorin, I have some ship builds that I'm going to be adding in a mod. I won't go into details, but they're going to be. This will probably be one of them, or something very similar to this. There's some that you haven't seen yet, but I'm going to be adding some, and they may or may not be purchasable. I'll just leave that floating in the air. I'm hoping to make it pretty cool, pretty fun, and pretty challenging. I can also do build tutorial videos anytime people insist. There's a build like this that's on my channel right now. It was the first video I uploaded. I think it was February 7th of this year, which was the first time that I showed anybody that half-step glitching that I did inside this area, where you use a weapon to attach things together between layers. No, it's not about free. It's about I'm gonna make them some you might be able to buy. I'm not sure yet. I know some I want you to have to go out and complete a quest to unlock and earn. Purchase mods. We're not allowed to sell mods except through the creation kit as far as legitimate purchasing. But you know, all mod authors, most mod authors take donations. And there's links on my Discord, on my website, all that stuff. But like this one is very similar to that build that we're talking about, Savorin. And like a lot of the stuff that's on this character right now is just me goofing off. So this was just me goofing off. This one was me playing around with engines when I made these 1-pip engines. I wanted to see what it would look like jamming 12 of them onto that relative shape. And that was not a fun build. And then there's this one where I was like, oh, maybe I'll do some kind of, I don't know what configuration this would even be called. I just wanted to do something different. And then there's the Avenger you've all seen, and yeah. This has what, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 engines? In the future, I will be doing bigger mods that are a lot more complex, and specifically they're going to be quest focused or companion focused, and those will be paid. Because I will have license fees that I have to pay to help produce them, software I have to buy, voice actors I'm going to pay. Even though, like, my wife is going to do a couple of the voices, my son is going to do a couple of the voices. I'm paying them. I'm not asking them to do work for me for free. In my son's case, he's 14. He'll be 15 this year. He wants to be a voice actor, a voice artist when he grows up. So this will be his first paid contract, and we're going to write an official legal contract, set him up a bank account, whole 9 yards. So, trying to help him establish himself. Plus, he's really excited to do it. He actually offered to do it. I didn't ask him. And he's been, like, working on little quirky sayings and slogans and stuff like that he wants to give the character he's going to voice. First one will probably be cheap, on the cheaper side, and then the second one is going to be very ambitious, and that one is going to take me many, many months to develop, and hundreds of hours of voice acting. So that one is going to be pretty complex and not on the cheaper side. It's probably going to be on the middle of their pay scale. And remember, Bethesda takes most of that. You get a small slice as the content author. And then the final one I want to build my way to is going to be DLC sized, and I don't even know if I'll be able to accomplish it. So I'm not going to talk too much about it. But for those few people who have complained that my mods make the game too easy because you become too overpowered, I remind you, you have to earn it. None of this comes to you at level 1. None of it's free. It all takes effort. It all takes levels. Some of it takes New Game Plus trips that people aren't willing to put in, which is fine. But B, I'm going to be putting out mods in the future that are going to make the game more difficult. So all of these things will help you survive what's coming. That's all I'll say. Like here's a little hint and a question for you there, Savoran, and anybody else watching. How would you feel having to fight 6 ships like this in a space combat, in a space encounter? Like, with these stats, would you want to fight these on extreme mode? I point out this has the torpedo. No, that might not be the torpedo. That might be the exterminator, mortal, non-starborn weapon. Yeah, I have plans to do stuff similar to that. I won't go into the details because it would spoil quests and stuff like that. Yeah, and the goal is to, as I introduce my rival faction and stuff like that through my mod's lore, then you'll start seeing a lot more of these powerful enemies and/or friendlies that you can team up with, all leading to that big expansion level thing eventually, I hope. This ship specifically reminded me of The Last Starfighter, the 80s movie. Instigate the Death Blossom, or initiate the Death Blossom. I don't know if you've watched that movie. I just dated myself. See, I always thought Guyver was much, much more of a comedy, an accidental comedy, than anything else. That movie ranks right up there in my mind with Project Metal Beast. Project Metal Beast, the terrible, terrible movie that was about the government working on scientific experiments to make super soldiers, and so they took some super soldiers out of cryosleep that somehow was possible in the 50s, and one of them happened to be a werewolf, and when they gave him metal skin, he became unkillable. No, Spaceballs was quality. That was a quality movie. It's the movies that try and be serious that I find hilarious. That's what I'm referring to. Like Jim Cotta. That piece of crap. He's a gymnast. He's a martial artist. And now he's a spy. And then he runs through the middle of an Italian city that happens to have a stone pommel horse in the middle of town that he can use to kick people's butts. Oh, he's running down an alley. Look, there's the uneven bars that he can jump on and start flipping around to fight his enemies. It made so much sense. Well, I mean, if you want to make a mod, you can always... Pretty easy to make a mod that gives you... Or a weapon clip that you can install that gives you like 10,000 ammo storage in the weapon. Yes. Yes. The Wraith. What a good movie. Not that great looking back at it now with today's modern eyes. But like back in the day, that movie was the shit. At least for a kid like me. Like I was back then. Normally when I build this kind of outpost configuration, I'll use one of these glass halves and build it like that, but it'll be overlooking the terminus. That's how I'll usually situate it. So that it's definitely like a control station or a watchtower for the control tower for the Star Yard. Well, and that car was actually a Chrysler prototype, and they ran it on race circuits as a pace car a few times. It was a 4-cylinder twin turbo that was setting track records. They built it to prove what you could do with a 4-cylinder. There's some guy I saw on YouTube, he's got one and he's been restoring it. I am seeing fire outside. I'm gonna end the stream and go check that. It looks like it's at the neighbor's yard across the street. I hope it's just a controlled burn. Peace out. I will catch you guys on Discord. And look out for new videos again tomorrow.